Welcome everyone to Week 5, Warriors League Thailand 2026. Hope everyone enjoyed the action on Saturday afternoon and today on this Sunday in late January. We have 4 very good contests coming up. I'll be on the call for 2 of them. As always, Rich Quinones here. We are about 10 minutes away from Fully Feared taking on the Howard Hoops. Fully Feared comes in with a solid 4-0 mark. The Hoops, they sit at 2-2. They were able to get a 121-48 win over CNX Orion on Saturday afternoon. Fully Feared, they didn't have their full arsenal, so to speak, but they were able to edge the Sun Devils in a close one. They also brought in some reinforcements. We'll talk a little more about that after the opening tip-off. Game number 2 should also be a really good contest as well. The Titans rebounded from their first loss of the tournament last weekend. They were able to get the win yesterday. They improved to 3-1, and they did it with a little bit of a mixed bag, a lot of balanced scoring. Obviously, we know this is a very tough team, an extremely versatile team. So they picked up a big win. The Stuffed Bisons fell yesterday 78-60 to the Hunters. So they sit at 1-3. So those will be the first 2 games on the docket. And then we'll hand it over to our wonderful crew at Warriors Thailand to take you home. And as I mentioned, the final will be New Force against the Sun Devils. That'll be a 4 p.m. tip-off. CNX Orion and the Hunters at 5:30 p.m. So we're about 10 or so minutes away, 1 p.m. tip-off between Fully Feared and Howard Hoops. And then as we stay on schedule, 2:30 p.m. tip-off, Stuffed Bisons against the Thailand Titans. I want to encourage everyone, don't forget to always get social with us on social media at IG. And, of course, like, comment, and follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So as I mentioned, about 10 minutes or so away, 1 p.m. tip-off. And as always, we appreciate everyone keeping us tuned in. Rich Quinones here, thrilled to be calling the first 2 games on this Sunday afternoon. We had really just a fantastic slate of action on Saturday. A lot of teams stepped up, a lot of players stepped up, a lot of spotlighting on players. And you're starting to see as this tournament progresses, and now we sit at week 5, in another week or 2, we'll see who the real serious players are. We've got 8 squads to start, and as you guys already know from tuning in religiously, 8 teams will play each other once in round 1. Top 4 teams will place 1 to 4. They'll advance to the second round. Round 2, the last 4 teams, semifinals. First place team will play the 4th place. Second place team will play the 3rd place. A win gets you 2 points. A loss gets you 1 point. Match absent, ineligible, DQ, 0 points. These are fast-moving games, 10-minute quarters, 2-minute intermissions between quarters, 5 minutes at the break, and we get you real-time stats on the fly as well. So about 5 or so minutes away, tip-off between Fully Feared BC and the Howard Hoops, and we'll have it on the other side. Welcome back, everyone, to Warriors League Thailand 2026 as we are moments away. Our first game on this Sunday afternoon, Fully Fear taking on the Howard Hoops. Rich Kenyon is here. We always want to say, first and foremost, thank you to everyone tuning in, obviously to our loyal fan base in Thailand, but certainly a special shout out to those stateside in the U.S. following along, watching their sons, their friends, their brothers, former teammates, family and friends, watching these young men have an opportunity to elevate their game, take it to the next level. You guys are absolutely unbelievable for tuning us in. We know there's a major time difference, and we absolutely salute and love and respect all the fans from all over chiming in, especially from the U.S. So first and foremost, we just always like to say we appreciate that. As you guys know, this is an unbelievable opportunity. National players, spotlight on them, major spotlight for them to take their game to the next level, have an opportunity to showcase your talents, get it on film, get legit stats in real time, and really make a mark playing professional basketball. As this tournament progresses, we know 8 teams, max 15 players per team, and we went through the rules and regulations. One thing that I've kind of noticed over the first couple weeks is the game is very wide open, and a lot of times it's pretty guard heavy, guard centric, and we're starting to see that, especially with some of the players stateside, because the game is a little different over in the U.S. as opposed to over in Asia, as opposed to over to Europe. And I think these players are doing a heck of a job getting acclimated and fitting in. And it makes for a very interesting and exciting brand of basketball. Now, Howard's going to have their hands full tonight with Fully Feared. And Fully Feared is a team that's stacked. They typically run just 5 deep. Different story yesterday when they added a couple players as well. We'll talk a little more about that in a couple moments. But they've got their starting 5 that can easily score 20 to 25. Now, what I really enjoy when it comes to Howard, this team is a fundamentally sound basketball team. They distribute the basketball, whether it's Willoughby, Thomas, Brooks. You've got several players that can pump in 20, 25 plus. Obviously, we saw them explode for 121 Saturday against CNX Orion, 121-48. Willoughby had 27 in that one. Brooks, 21. Thomas, 26. Willoughby and Thomas, those are 2 players that can literally just pull the trigger from beyond the arc. I think you're going to see a little more of a half-court offense this afternoon by Howard. I think they're going to rely a lot on that three-point shooting, and Fully Feared has to be wary of that because, as I mentioned, Howard has some knockdown shooters. They've got some depth as well, and they're well coached. If Howard wants to come away with the upset win and move to 3-2 and hand Fully Feared their first loss of the tournament, they're going to have to ratchet it down defensively. They cannot afford to let Fully Feared get out and score easy transitional buckets, second chance opportunities. They got to win the battle on the glass as well. From all accounts, it looked like Fully Feared also signed a guard, Smiley Chineri, good-looking shooter from Maryland over in the U.S. of A. 6'2 guard, can score in bunches. I don't know if he'll be suited up this afternoon, but we'll certainly talk a little more about that when the time comes. So about 2 or 3 minutes away from opening tip-off of this one, 1 p.m. slate, Thailand time. It'll be Fully Feared taking on Howard Hoops. And we welcome everyone back again to Warriors Thailand League 2026. Rich Quinones is here. Looking forward to this afternoon's telecast. As I mentioned, I'll be on the call for the first two games this Sunday afternoon, late January in Thailand. And then, of course, the crew will take you home the final two. Week 5, we are putting it to bed. Just some news and notes, some players that stood out over the last 24, 48 hours. Fidel Norris, 24 points, 13 rebounds, and an assist. 78-60 win for the Hunters over the stuffed Bisons. Mark Blair, we'll see him after this game. Fantastic performance for the Titans. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. He was a rebound shy of a triple-double in that win over New Force. 89-73. Well-balanced attack for the Titans. And how about this? Eric Friedman, 20 points, 20 rebounds, and a couple dimes. That is a big-time double-double, as Fully Feared was able to escape the Sun Devils 89-87. We'll see in about 10 minutes if Freeman can put up those types of numbers in the first contest. And then the counterpart. We talked a lot about this Howard squad that has absolutely brilliant scoring. Willoughby was a man possessed on Saturday afternoon. Logan Willoughby, 27 points, 13 rebounds, a dish shy of a triple-double in that big-time 121-48 win over CNX Orion. And then to round it out, Tyreek Prince quietly 24-4-2 in a really nice effort, even though albeit in a loss, as the Hunters fell to the Sun Devils 91-83. He's certainly a player to watch going forward. I mentioned a couple moments away, opening tip-off between Fully Feared and Howard Hoops. Rich Quinones here. Warriors League Thailand 2026. If you guys are watching us on the YouTube channel, we always appreciate it greatly. You can also check out the link on X, Facebook, and follow along on IG. And we welcome you back to Warriors League Thailand 2026. It'll be Fully Feared BC against the Howard Hoops. Fully Feared 4-0 in those very unique yellow and black uniforms. The Hoops 2-2. Fresh off a 121-48 win over CNX Orion. Rich Quinones here on the telecast. I got the first two for you on this Sunday afternoon. We're looking right around 1:13 p.m. Thailand time for the official tip-off. And those watching in the States, grab a cup of coffee, if you will, and hang with us. 1:14 a.m. stateside on the East Coast. Glad you're with us. Should be a dandy. And back tap, and Hoops have it to start. Moving right to left. Quickly inside, and a three to start things off. Off the side of the iron, and Fully Feared, they want to do what they do best, and that's push the ball up the floor. Coffin corner three, and that doesn't fall. Thomas, the player of spotlight, has the rock, gives it up to Willoughby, averaging right around 22 a clip. Thomas thought about it, pulls it right back out, drop off one more time, and there's Willoughby, loves that spot. So as I documented during the opening, three-point shooting paralysis of the Howard Hoops, and I don't think they have to get in this fanatical pace of just shooting lights out from beyond the arc, but I know when the open looks are there for them, obviously they do need to take advantage of it, and they have to try to drill down these shots. And I think defensively they cannot allow Fully Feared BC to just get out in transition. Early stages of this one, Johnson gets it off. Drop off one more time. A little more, spacing from the perimeter. Johnson, Coffin corner, count it. And Rock Johnson having himself a heck of a tournament. 3-1. Thomas good look inside, even though they clogged the lane. And Fully Feared wants to get out on a fast break. Johnson again, and he'll get hammered by Thomas. So it's 3-1, about a minute plus into this one. One of the other players to spotlight and watch for Howard is number 12, Padak. The ability to put it on the floor, also knock it down from beyond the arc. Willoughby has it. Wants to create, dish off over to Dak. They'll swing it. Brooks has been a really nice catalyst as well. Watch for him, number 1. Good drive. And that's a good lay-in. Jerry Brooks, number 1. Keep an eye on him. So it's 4-3. And that's off the mark. Now, you'll notice number 24 in the contest to start things off for Fully Feared. And they didn't have the big-time threat of Jordan Robinson yesterday, the 6'8", versatile forward, averaging about 30-plus, 25 rebounds, and they still were able to get the win. Thomas wants to go right inside, and they'll kick off. Willoughby picks it up. Little dribble drive to Dak, can't convert, tipped around. And here comes Fully Feared out, 7:24 to go. They've got number, stop, and pop, and that's off the mark. So even without the big man, they were able to still preserve the win. And you see the sharpshooting Thomas, 26. 18-7 yesterday, 26 on the season. Johnson rattles around. Rock Johnson, one of those prolific scorers in this tournament. 7-minute mark. Foul line extended, elbow J. Doesn't fall. Knotted up at 6 apiece. It's that first quick step. You've got shooters on the floor, obviously, for Howard. Defensively, they got to figure out a way, and I don't know how deep they're going to go to the bench, but they need to figure out a way to just kind of slow down what we're seeing right now, transitional buckets. That's a really hard foul. Obviously, it's an aggressive foul, but without malice intent. A lot of times in different leagues overseas, it's a breakaway foul, 2 on the ball. Second is true. So we deem that typically clear path foul. So side out, fully feared up 9-6. Johnson has it right now, up by 3. Picks up the dribble. They'll swing it one more time. On the floor. I think that's tough. I think they're past long. Now excellent. Defensive goaltending there. That's a tough call. Right call, but a tough call. 5:30 to go in the first. Johnson on Willoughby. Willoughby likes to put him on the floor, and he likes to go right to his left. He tried to do it right there. Unfortunately, slipped. It's a 5-point cushion for fully feared. But again, pace-wise, if you are Howard, you want to try your best to keep this right around 85, 90 points. Once it starts to creep into 100, I think that favors fully feared, especially knowing that they've got Robinson back. They've got prolific scorers, whether it's Murray, Walker, Kennedy, Robinson, Johnson. Under 4 in this first quarter. Fully feared moving left to right. Good drop off again. Tough contested shot. Dak again had position, but just didn't want to pick up the cheap foul. 13-6, 7-point cushion. Baseline kick out. They'll swing it one more time. Willoughby splits the defense right off the glass. Can't get the little bunny roll. Here comes fully feared one more time. They want to get going up and down the floor. See if they make that extra pass, and they do. Excellent ball movement right there for fully feared BC. Largest lead balloons to 9. Under 4 to play in this first quarter. We'll check it. It'll be a 3, so it's 10-point cushion. 16-6. Brooks trying to create, try to slice through. Call on the floor. Clock continues to tick down. You mentioned these are very fast-paced quarters. Brooks has it. He'll hand off, see if they get Thomas flashing. They do. Over to Brooks' corner. Count it. Jerry Brooks, good-looking stroke for three. Stop that little spurt. Good defense right there by Howard. See, they're starting to converge a little bit. That's the turnover they needed. Trailing 16-9. 2:30 to go in this first quarter. But I like the spacing offensively, and that's going to allow these sharpshooters, when they have clean looks, knock it down. Willoughby gives it up. There's a clean look for Thomas. Count it. Cannot leave him open like that. '24-year-old, 6'4" shooting guard from Missouri. Knocks down to three. Little shake and bake. Good job with the box out. This is where they have to win the battle of the boards, and they're going to push. Count it. Off the glass, coming back. That is an absolutely brilliant take. Robinson, one of the quiet, unsung players on this squad, and a nice little run, down 10, and it's an 8-0 spurt, and they find themselves down 16-14 with an opportunity for the three-point play with a $1:52 to go in this first quarter. A friendly bounce on a Sunday afternoon, 16-15, but this is the pace, and this is exactly what they want. They're attacking the tin, and they're knocking down their open shots. Long stretch, Robinson catch and shoot in rhythm. And that doesn't fall. Once the guards, whether it's Robinson and or Brooks, when they start to converge and penetrate, that's when you're starting to see Thomas and Willoughby wide open for some of these shots. Johnson now, under two. Errant pass, miscommunication. (16-15) under a minute to go in this first quarter. Will be a little shake and bake. Drop off. Robinson doesn't fall. Johnson pulls the trigger, and that doesn't drop. They've got numbers. Howard wants to get out and run. 2-on-1. Oh, what just an absolute deceptive move. Dak looking for the potential drop-off. Instead, kept it himself, scooped it in, and the Hoops have their first lead, 17-16. Fully Fear can hold for the last shot in the first quarter. Step back three. That doesn't fall. An opportunity right now. Jailbreak. Here they come back the other way. Willoughby, coast to coast. 3-point cushion, 19-16. Coming back. And that's how the first quarter is going to close. So a nice little run. Down 10 in this one early on. And this is a nice little character builder, a little gut check quarter for Howard, because I think more times than not, some of these teams early on in this tournament find themselves down 10 against Fully Feared, and that becomes 15-20, and they get their doors blown off. Excellent job by the Hoops, staying within themselves, knocking down a couple big shots. Willoughby Thomas, Brooks, Robinson with that three as well with the clean look. They were down 10. They went on a nice little run. And now they lead it by three. So that's a heck of a 13-0 spurt. 19-16, one quarter in the books. We'll step aside. Quarter number two coming up. Warriors League Thailand 2026. 19-16, started the second quarter, and you see Fully Feared trying right away to pressure the ball, trying to get an opportunity. Cause some early turnovers in the second frame, trailing 19-16, which we haven't really said that a lot throughout the first 4 games. I mean, this is a team that can score well over 100-plus points, and thus far, Howard doing a good job of keeping them in check. Robinson, foul line, puts it on the floor, off-balance shot, that doesn't drop, tries to get his own rebound, tipped around, little loose change, they try to back tap it, nothing doing. Numbers for Fully Feared, Johnson pulling the trigger. And they almost give it up. Getting a little sloppy though. Gonna get a travel, yep. Gotta wonder when Fully Feared starts trying to work the ball into number 24. I mean, Johnson's going to get his, but they know that Robinson's the primary scorer. Willoughby chases down the miss. He's another shooter, just needs a little slither. Picks up the dribble, skip it, step back, count it. Robinson have to pull that trigger fast. Johnson for 3, and that finally rattles home. Rock Johnson having himself a tournament, averaging well over 20. High flyer. Big time dunker. You know, loves to get out on that fast break and put it on the floor with that jab step. Very quick first step. 21-19. Howard by 2. And that drops. One of the best pure shooters in this tourney, Logan Willoughby, averaging 19, 7, and 3. Foul line. Doesn't fall. Willoughby. The rebound, little bounce pass in rhythm. We got a player down on the floor, landed awkwardly. 23-19, under 7 to play in the second quarter. Keep it here for a moment. We're going to get a violation. Going to get the ball across the timeline. Those have been called, but very rare. So it's an unforced, uncharacteristic turnover by Fully Feared. Brooks almost gave it up. They'll skip it. Robinson wants to think about it. Drop off. Willoughby. Tough off-balance shot, drew the contact, and it's going to go the other way. Not sure who the call was on. 24-19. And this is right now playing right into Howard's hands, because what they've been able to do is not allow, and just as I say it, but aside from that too right there, they have not allowed Fully Feared to get out and really run and do what they do best. That's a good entry pass. Ooh, how about that shake? Wow. And that floor, that we've realized that the surface at times a little slippery for some of these players. And Robinson will head to the charity stripe for 2. Clock continues to tick, under 5 to play, 24-21. Hoops by 3. Thomas appears to check back in for Howard. So the second is good. Under 5 to go. Thomas put it on the floor and drives right to the tin. Excellent lay-in. And that's what happens. So deceptive. You know that he's got that three-point shooting paralysis. Decides I'm going to put it on the floor. Of course, the former JUCO standout, North Arkansas College, NAIA for 3 years. That standout. Good-looking product. Very deceptive when he put it on the floor for the 2. And then Fully Feared comes back with a bucket of their own. Got an opportunity with numbers as well. Long stretch pass stolen away. Thomas did a good job of cutting off the lane. Receives it back. See how it draw out that defense, and you got to be wary of that. Willoughby, hop, skip, and a jump. Got stripped away. Robinson now, they've got numbers. They want to get out. Very inauspicious start to this game for Fully Feared. They just seem a little out of sync, and you just have to wonder how much did Saturday's game, which was at times a physical game and a tough game, take out of them. That is a long distance dialed up. Young man can definitely knock it down from beyond the arc. Howard was down 10. They find themselves up 8, 31-23. 3:06 to go in the second quarter. And offensively, doing a really nice job. You see Robinson giving some instructions. It's a good-looking team. A lot of leaders on this squad, no egos. They played the game the right way. And then you look at that athletic team in Fully Feared. They love to get up and down the floor. A little frustration starting to settle in right now. And Johnson, number 5, is a fiery, fiery player. He plays with an edge, a chip, competitiveness. They're not used to this. They haven't found themselves down in competition. They haven't found themselves down in this tournament. And again, this is the team that typically only carries and dresses their starting 5. So you start to add in a couple players, and they're trying to understand getting the rhythm of the rhyme and the flow of the offense. They'll figure it out. They're too good of a team. They're too athletic and too talented. 31-23. Hoops up by 8. 3:08 to go in the second quarter. Game 1 of a 4-game set. Week 5, Warriors League, Thailand 2026. They want to get out one more time with some numbers. Good, unselfish drop-off. Oh, they missed a bunny. Oh, rejected. Oh, my goodness. Great weak side help. Transitional defense by Fully Feared. Howard, though, with a little bunny around the rim. That's the worst spot. That's a tough handoff right there. You get stuck in that coffin corner, you're in trouble. Back now. Gives it up. Brooks a little quiet. Picks up the dribble. Tough off-balance shot. Looking for the contact. That's going to resort in the transitional bucket for 2 coming back the other end. 31-25. I think Brooks would love to get that possession back. I think that was more of a frustration. Oh, how about that dime, though? Atoning. Whipped it in there with the left hand. Gorgeous vision. Johnson, 3. That doesn't drop. Tipped around. Oh, that was an unbelievable dime by Jerry Brooks. Averaging 21, but also dishing out 5 a game. Stop and pop. Doesn't fall for Thomas. Usually knocks that down from the foul line. The shot has not fallen for Fully Feared. The 3-point shot has not fallen. Their game is predicated on transitional buckets, rebounds, getting out on the fast break. 2-man game. Like right there. And then what happens is you pick up the cheapy foul. I think they're going to tag, well, by his reaction, it looks like the foul's going to be on Logan Willoughby. 45 seconds ago in the second quarter, 33-25, Howard up by 8. They trailed by as many as 10, went on a 13-0 spurt, and they've held the lead since. It's got to be a frustrating first half for Fully Feared. Great take. So athletic. Defensively again, clogging the lane. Guys are sliding over, making the right double team. It's going to stay with Fully Feared, but I love the defensive paralysis this afternoon by Howard. So Fully Feared will hold for the last shot. They got 8 seconds. See if they can cook up something. Johnson, coffin corner. Count it. Oh, they needed that one desperately. Little desperation heat coming back. Willoughby off the mark. Although given the benefit of a couple more seconds, long heave. Johnson tried to draw the contact, was able to knock it down from the corner, stop a little bit of the bleeding. 2 quarters in the books, we're at the half. Howard leads it 35-28 over Fully Feared. We'll see if we can get you some stats. Third quarter coming up. Keep it locked in. Warriors League Thailand 2026. We got a good one. Take a look at some highlights from the first half of action. As I mentioned, Howard found themselves down by 10. They start to knock down the shots, and really the catalyst, you see right there, number 3, Thomas with a couple threes. Robinson and Brooks getting into the action. Willoughby doing what he does best. And then, of course, Dak plays both ends of the floor. I think quietly a double-double machine, a very underrated player. They attacked the 10. They were able to get to the line a couple times. But I think what's hurt Fully Feared is they have not been able to do what they do best, and that's get out and run. Pretty quiet for Freeman. Johnson with a couple buckets. Robinson quiet as well. And you see right there, gorgeous dish off from Thomas to Brooks, who missed a bunny. But that, again, they're getting their opportunities, their looks. They're breaking down the defense, and they're knocking down the threes. And then conversely, too, you look at the game Saturday afternoon for Howard. They put up 121. The game was over. I mean, let's be honest. The game was over after one quarter. They were up 29-7. They shot 16 of 30 from beyond the arc. Willoughby 27, Brooks 21, Thomas 26. The game was not competitive. So these players did not have to go out there and play 35, 36, 37 minutes. Little different story for Fully Feared. They had to grind it out in a tight win that came down to the last several possessions against the Sun Devils. Now, again, I'm not making excuses because we know how good Fully Feared is, but you just have to wonder, fresher legs right now are starting to favor Howard, and they lead it 35-28. Third quarter coming up. We'll also see if we can get you some stats. Want to encourage everyone, keep us locked into the YouTube channel. And we certainly appreciate those stateside hanging with us. It's 1:48 p.m. Thailand time, 1:48 in the States, depending upon if you're on the East Coast. So right around 2 in the morning. Hope you guys have your cup of coffee and you guys are tuning in, watching this one. It has the makings of a very good game in the second half of play. And this is a huge opportunity right now for Howard. Pick up 2 points with a win, an upset win, and tag Fully Feared with their first loss of the tourney. That would be not a major upset, but it would be somewhat of an upset. And they got to just, again, lock down a little bit on defense. And the one thing about Howard, too, is, when their shots falling, they're red hot. When the shot's not falling, they're living and die by the 3-point. So that's something that bears worth watching going forward in this third quarter of play. After this one slated right around 2:30-ish. Might be pushed back a couple moments, but Stuff Bison's against the Titans, who rebounded nicely with a big win over New Force. And if you're curious, some of the best 3-point shooters, several of them reside in this game right now. Aiden Thomas, who's knocked down 15 entering play. Willoughby as well. Also want to make mention, Pocari Sweat, one of our official sponsors. It's a healthy rehydration drink. Check them out online at POCARISWEATTH. Also, our good friends over at Monkey Mouse World. Margarita Storm, your go-to for Tex-Mex. Grab food. Also, Vada Sport. Sports socks, compression, sportswear, sports equipment. Providing gear as well for Warriors Thailand 2026. Third quarter coming up. 35-28, Howard up on top by 7. As we get set for the third quarter, Howard moving left to right. And those sharp blue unis, a little tinge, darker blue, as kind of go down the shirt to the shorts. Fully Feared now with possession. I know they would love to get number 5 cooking, as well as Robinson and Freeman. And you see how they're keeping that defense honest. And you see the respect. Willoughby almost demands and commands a double team. They're going to get a violation, though, going back the other way. So this is what happens when you have perennial knockdown shooters. Your defense either has to commit the off-balance shot there. Pass wasn't clean. Johnson didn't get his shoulder square. Good look. And they're running a little more. Guys are flashing and cutting right to the basket. Excellent dish by Hayden Thomas. It's a 9-point lead right now for Howard. Long step back 3. That's off the mark. Nothing doing. Almost a jailbreak opportunity. Willoughby, touch pass again. He'll receive it one more time from 3. That's a little short. And here's your fast break opportunity. Johnson. Oh my goodness. Tried to be acrobatic with the scoop shot, and it was altered. And there's a trailer, 5-footer. Still have not been able to get the offense cooking from the interior and off running. And then conversely, you look at Howard doing an excellent job. They're going to get the travel. But again, the idea is there. I mean, you see right there, Fully Feared is so concerned with the athleticism of Howard, where they're just clogging the middle and you see 2 or 3 guys. Now, even if the shot's going to be contested, you got 2 or 3 guys that are sitting beyond the arc. So the spacing's there, and that's the ability for them to hit down the threes. And finally, rattles home for Fully Feared, 37-30, 7-12 to go in this third. See, look at it converge, right? And then boom, you got Thomas wide open. Now he doesn't knock it down, but that's kind of what we talked about at the onset. Fully Feared BC wants to get out. They want to push it a little more and try to pick up the pace, down 7, 37-30. Johnson, long catch and shoot. Just hasn't found his stroke. Little different story on Saturday afternoon. That extra pass. Nice stutter stagger step. Soft touch with the right hand off the glass for the lay-in. Ah, 2-on-1, and this is where they're at their best. Ooh. Great defense coming back, though. See if they make them pay. That was excellent, excellent defense. A little razzle-dazzle behind the back. Brooks to Thomas. Playing both ends of the floor. Just brilliant hustle defense right there. They want to get out now. Contested. Back one at the contact. 3-on-1. And that's Fully Feared. And they have numbers. And they're smart. Now, all of a sudden, the perimeter defense is starting to come out a little more. They want to honor those three-point shots. Thomas can't get it to drop. Philly Fear now. A little bit of some juice behind the back. Nifty laying with the right hand. Nice run. Howard wants to talk about it. 4:30 to go in this third quarter. 7-0 spurt. 39-36. Fully Feared trailing by 3. 4:43 to go in the third. All right, let's get you caught up on a couple of numbers here. Johnson with 12 in the contest. I mentioned their newest acquisition, Smiley Chineri from Maryland with 6, 3 of 10 shooting, number 11. Green, 7 points. They're just 2 of 4 from the line, Fully Feared, as they trail by 3. Thomas with 10, Willoughby with 9, Brooks with 3, Douglas with 4, number 6. And Dak with 6 to go along 7 rebounds. By the way, Douglas with 12 boards. They've done an excellent job. 36 of 24 rebounding edge right now. 39-36. Dak gets it back. Brooks still swing it. Count it. Excellent ball movement right there from Howard coming off the timeout. And Brooks obliges, knocks down the 3. Little catch and shoot. Pulls the trigger. That doesn't drop. Ooh, stolen away. Yep, here's a jailbreak. Johnson with the two-handed jam. Well, uncharacteristic too. Howard's leading by 6, but they have 13 turnovers in this game. Clock continues to tick down. Under 4 to play in this third quarter. Willoughby trying to flash for a moment. Skip pass. Another 3 ball. Catch and shoot in rhythm. So the 3 is starting to drop right now for Howard. And they're starting to get the exact spacing on the floor that they need. It's a 7-point lead. 45-38. 3:23 to go. Brooks comes out to defend Willoughby. They'll double. They'll slide over. Foul line. And the follow through is finally drops home. I haven't seen Walker. Look out. Oh, gorgeous alley-oop. Unbelievable assist. Johnson climbing the ladder. Backdoor. Brilliant feed. I mentioned Rock Johnson. Just a high flyer. He's the high man with 16. So again, though, still trying to do it without their best player on the floor offensively, Jordan Robinson. We didn't see him yesterday. When you start to see this team struggling, and now you need players like Green, number 37, kind of pick up the pace a little bit. 7 points. Also, Archohala, number 38, he's got 9 in this contest, but they're really missing their big-time threat, one of the league leaders, not available for the second straight game. I believe that was Green with the catch and shoot, and we are knotted up 45 apiece. So in spite of all that, Fully Feared hanging around, Little triangle offense. They'll converge. 3 from the corner. That doesn't drop. An opportunity for Foley Field BC to take the lead with a bucket with a $1:48 to go. Thomas with the rebound off the miss. Very interesting how you take one player off the floor and you see how it changes the dynamic. Another 3, back-to-back trifectas. Number 37, Damonte Green starting to heat up, averaging 7 and already with 10. Under a minute to go in this third quarter, 48-45. Foley Field BC by 3. They've got a little momentum. They want to get out and run. And that drops home. So another 6-0 spurt, little burst right now, turning that deficit into a cushion. 50-45, but I mentioned other guys stepping up, right? You don't have the services of Jordan Robinson, the 6'8" versatile forward, who's averaging 34 and 25, and we saw what he did in TEBA, just dominated with 32 and 27. But other players are stepping up for Foley Field, and they had to grind it out Saturday afternoon. They were leading this one, then down 10. Now they're back up on top by 5, 50-45. And once they start getting out in space and they start rolling, they're going to be a very tough out. And I love the emergence of number 37, Green. Damonte Green, averaging 7. He's got 13 in this one. Oh, by the way, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Now, they're 6 of 25 as a whole, and then collectively Howard's just 7 of 29. But the difference in this second half thus far, Foley Field hasn't turned the rock over. They only have 7 in this game. Meanwhile, Howard's doubled them up in that regard, and not in the positive, with 14 turnovers and 30 seconds to go in this third quarter, trailing by 5. 50-45. We knew on paper this was going to be a good game, a highly contested, competitive affair, and we're getting it. And also, too, not to just belabor the point, but with Robinson, most of his buckets, I would say 75 to 80% of his buckets came right inside the paint. So that presence certainly the void being felt tonight for Foley Field. They can hold for the last shot. Howard can. See if they get Thomas flashing for a moment. Oh, nice whip pass inside. They can't convert. Another good-looking opportunity. Among the trees, around 3. Great take. And a stolen away, coming back the other end, counted, I believe. Did they get it? Did they count it? Let's see. Was that Rock Johnson? Just Johnny on the spot, right around the bucket, off the turnover. Such a fantastic player. 25 points in this tournament. 3 rebounds, 4 dimes. And he'll step to the line. First one is true. So maybe my overzealous, I thought the bucket went in. Sometimes I'm not as fast as our crew, and the second is true. So 54-45. And that's how the third quarter is going to come to an end. So 3 in the books. Rock Johnson starting to take over. Green starting to take over. They combine for 29 in this contest right now. And as it stands, 10-point deficit has turned into a 9-point lead for Foley Field, 54-45. Take a look at some of the highlights. Green, the catalyst. Pulling the trigger with confidence. And then this is what they do best. They get out. They want to run. Little stagger, Euro step. Drops home. Little 5-0 burst from number 27. Stolen away by Johnson. And he gets to the line. Not a bad way to close with a 7-0 spurt and build upon this lead, 54-45. Well, I'll tell you, Howard, they've got to have a run in them, and I believe they will, but they're going to kick themselves a little bit. Very uncharacteristic turnovers with the basketball, and I mentioned they live and die by the three-point shot. Right now, they're 7 of 22 from beyond the arc. High man, Thomas with 10, Brooks with 9, Willoughby with 9, Dak with 6, 7 rebounds as well. Oh, by the way, Douglas, 4 points, but he's doing it all over the place. Couple blocks, couple steals, 5 assists, 12 rebounds, 7 defensive boards. All right, here we go. Final 10, fourth quarter. See how this one plays out. Hop, skip, and a jump. Got caught up. Drop off Green. Thought about the three. Kicks it out. Johnson, coffin corner. Got it. Oh, he didn't even rip the nylon. My goodness. Rock Johnson. And I'll tell you, they're showing a lot of toughness and moxie, this team is. Speaking of fully feared, I mean, everyone thought they were going to rip through. And without arguably their best offensive player in Robinson not on the floor, they grinded it out on Saturday, and they're grinding it out again. And you're getting some players who might not have gotten that opportunity to showcase some of their talent and skill. They're playing well. Johnson again, why not? That doesn't drop. Finally, pulls off a little bit. Howard's got to get going, down 12 with under 9 to play in this fourth quarter. Little dump off Thomas. They'll swing it. Top of the key, Willoughby. Back tap, gets it back. Over to Dak, 3 ball. That drops home. 10-point deficit, 57-47, 8:35 to go. Fully feared moving right to left. Trying to draw the contact. Not going to get it. Drop off. Thomas thought about it. Foul line. Kick out. They'll swing it one more time. Good defense by Fully Feared. They'll converge on Dak, looking for the cutter, and they block it off. Johnson. Excellent job. That's just energy right there. You love that effort from Fully Feared. Guys sliding over, defensive help. Looks like Brooks is going to check back in. Clean look. And that's Robinson. And I like this substitution. Get Brooks out there. You need that primary ball handler as well. He can play off the ball. Being harassed off the rebound. They're going to try to press and double and try to get that turnover. Does a good job of breaking it. Willoughby over to Dak. Tipped around. Thomas tried to back tap it over. Nothing doing. Johnson has it. Up 6. Spin move. Long 3. Maybe a little rush possession. They'll swing it one more time. Green puts it on the floor. Explodes right to the tin. Draws a contact. He's going to go to the line. .06 to go in this fourth quarter. 6-point lead for Fully Feared BC, 57-51. Missed them both. Sits at 7, 58-51. Under 7 to play in the fourth. Willoughby now trying to create. Nice soft touch off the spin move in the lane. Defensively, too, that's a heck of a job Howard's done. burst. No one boxed. I thought they needed this game around 80, and this is where we sit 53 with under 6.5 to go. Oh, good defense. They got number 3. I want to get out. Transition the other end defensively. Now 3-on-2. Thomas wants to put it on the floor. He's being harassed. Where's it going to go? Which way? It's going to stay with Howard. Excellent hustle. And Halle. Willoughby receives it from Thomas. Let's put it on the floor. Drop off. Thomas thought about the 3. Fake. Over to Willoughby. Top of the key. Foul line extended. Drives. It's going to go the other way. They're going to get the blocking call. Oh, that is a tough call. You could have... I thought... That's a tough call. I thought Haggy actually had position right under the basket. But nonetheless, Willoughby got the benefit. Opportunity to go to a line and slice into this deficit. $65. The time. Howard. I've got to get a couple stops though, and they can't allow these clean looks. The triple. Oh, good block. And then he's pulling away, coming back the other. I mean, look, defense, you'd love it, but then you give it back. It's almost like a 4-point swing. You have an opportunity to bucket, turnover, bang. Jack, someone on the floor. Can't get the friendly bounce, tipped around, back over, drop off, top about the 3. Seven-point lead right now. Now back up to 9. Great production from Fully Feared tonight. Hello with 11, Green with 13. The newcomer, Chinnery, with 9, 4, 14, adding 7 rebounds, 21 from Johnson. No Walker, no Robinson. It's a 6-point lead. They can milk a little bit. 4:25 to go in this fourth quarter. Nice ball movement. Wide open look. Excellent ball movement. They just couldn't convert. Dak is such an underrated player. He's just a very good player. Really enjoy watching him play. Like his game. So trailing by 4. Howard has it. 3.5 to go. Looking for is it again? I think the decision might have been to Willoughby in that regard. Bodies crashing down to get a jump ball. Those are tough plays. You don't have a lot of real estate to kind of slip it through there. Housekeeping. So time to go in the third quarter. Fully Feared up 64-60. I mentioned you just know how did yesterday's game take out of in that 8-7 win over the Sun Devils and a gut check win And you had a lot of some heroes, and Johnson obviously, Green contributing. Everyone contributed in that win. They made some defensive stops. But this afternoon, no Jordan Robinson, no Walker, and they're still up by 4. And they've shown you they can get out, they can score 95, 100, $105. They can grind it out and play defense. And they're going to be a tough out going forward in this tournament. Now, they're the last remaining unbeaten team, and they sit at 4-0. Still plenty of time right now, 3:25 to go. Howard, with a win, would prove to 3-2. Fully Feared, obviously, with a win, would improve their record to 5-0. That's a tough possession coming back the other end. You got 3:17 to go. You see how some of these calls and the whistles we've seen late in games, a little more liberal with the whistles. If I'm Howard, if I'm Brooks, if I'm Robinson, if I'm Willoughby, I'm putting the ball right on the floor and I'm going right to the basket. I'm going to try to slice into this deficit from the line and then see if I can get a couple stops. And they're just blowing right by the defender right there on the ball. They're going to count the bucket. Continuation. But there's two schools of thought. So you're looking at a Fully Feared team when you have no Walker and you have no Robinson. And then I'm sure other teams are going to look around and say, well, guess what? They're human. They're beatable. But they're showing you a little gut check right now and a little character. Willoughby with the left hand glides in. They needed that one desperately. 67, 62, 2.5. So that you lose 25 points, you lose some energy and some athleticism. Offense, obviously, from Walker. Robinson, as I mentioned, in the paint. So this is why they've had to settle for a lot more of these outside jump shots, because they don't have that inside interior presence. Now, Green has done an excellent job as he's creeping into 15 and a double-double. He's done a great job back-to-back games. Dak being harassed right now, almost gave it up. But as the tournament wears on, you start to see. You take away player A and B, and then some teams just kind of look human, and you can exploit that. And I think Howard had an opportunity. They were up 10. They trailed, and they were up 10, and they just could not stretch it anymore. And you just saw that Fully Feared chipped away, and a lot of it had to do with Rock Johnson, number 5. I mean, he's just, his competitive spirit. Speaking of which, a little tricky. Probably didn't need the little showboat there. Up 7 with $1:40 to go. But that competitive nature, that energy and juice, he knocked down a couple big shots, a couple dunks here and there, got his team a little energized. And right now they sit with a 7-point lead with $1:25 to go in this fourth quarter. But other teams right now are going to be watching this game and saying, okay, take away number 23, take away number 24. This is a beatable team if we give them our best on any given night. Willoughby right now, desperate to try to create. Johnson on him. They're hounding him. Kick out, thought about the 3. Whip pass inside and a dandy. That can't convert. They corrals again inside the interior. Brooks tried to go for the steal. $1:12 to go. Fully Feared up 7. A bucket here would be a dagger. Left it short. Last gasp right now for Howard. Thomas, they need it. Count it. Aiden Thomas. Plenty of time. It's a 4-point game. See how they play this one defensively. They're going to get out and foul. Put Johnson on the line. Johnson can't convert. Little loose change. They get the rebound, offensive rebound. They'll kick it out again and milk a little more clock. Long three. And another offensive rebound. Tipped around one more time. They didn't need the three there. Let's check the clock. So you're Howard. You got to sprint, and you don't need a three. Go right to the basket, try to draw the contact, get to the line, or get a quick two, and then a quick foul. Willoughby trying to draw the contact. Thompson, catch and shoot. That's off the mark. Tipped around. That might be the last gasp right now. Looks like it is. Foul on the floor. And that's the horn. So another gut check win for Fully Feared. 69-65. They move to 5-0, but you see, take away a couple players offensively, they're not as explosive. And other teams within this tournament are looking around saying, okay, maybe these guys are right for the picking. And Howard, they lived and they died by that three-point shot. It just did not drop consistently. They were 11 of 31 from beyond the arc. Brooks with 9, Thomas with 16, Douglas with 6, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. Willoughby with a quiet 13, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. They didn't get to the line really at all, just 6 of 8. And also the turnovers were an issue. 21 this afternoon, and then conversely, Fully Feared only turned the ball over 10 times. But their high man was Johnson. Green gave them 13 and 12 off the glass to go along with 7 assists. Haggy quiet, 13 points, just steady production with 7 rebounds, 5 assists. They didn't really turn the ball over. The guards played very well. Shinnery, their new acquisition, 39 minutes, 11 points. But, as I mentioned, you look around, and right now, you start to say to yourself, okay, you know, this is a beatable team without Walker and without Robinson, and I think other teams around this tournament are going to take notice. But a win is a win, as we like to say. 69-65, Fully Feared wins it by 4. They move to 5-0. The Hoops will fall to 2-3. All right, keep it locked in as we take a look at some of the highlights. We got a good one coming up. Stuff Bisons 1-3 against the Titans 3-1. We'll have that in about 5 minutes, 2:30 Eastern time.